Hello, I am Vasileios Kotsidis. I am Director of Studies and College Assistant Professor in Economics here at Caius. An economist tries to understand economic aspects of social reality, aspects of the arrangement of the productive capacities of an economy and the ways these are being used to satisfy the needs of people. A very kind of straightforward, simple definition would be the science or art of trying to satisfy infinite needs with finite resources. Also, trying to understand those needs a little bit better. So looking at aspects of human behavior, human organization, and organization a lot more generally. At Caius, we have an excellent history and a very nice community. We have a range of academics who are exceptionally strong thinkers in their fields, and they are very charismatic educators as well. But I think that most importantly, they are severely invested in the community itself and developing it, nurturing our young scholars and allowing them the space and the resources to grow. We predictably expect a lot of them, which I hope won't be news to anyone applying to Cambridge. But at the same time, we try to provide them with all the support they will need in order to excel and also in order to have fun while doing so, not lose that sense of natural curiosity that brought them here. We want them to keep seeing the magic as they go along. The course develops over the course of 3 years. In the first year, there are 5 compulsory papers and no options. So all of our young scholars, as things stand, will need to be introduced to core concepts in micro and macroeconomics. They will also need to take a compulsory paper on mathematics and statistics, which will provide the foundation for the mathematical education throughout those 3 years. And also, they will need to take compulsory papers in politics and in the history of economic thought, with particular focus on Britain. It's a year close to my heart in the sense that the content being examined is very broad. There are a lot of things being introduced, but they are explored to pretty great extent, which sets the right foundations going forward. Then in the second year, out of 4 papers, 1 is an option. Students can pick something that they like alongside continuing to study micro and macroeconomics and some quantitative methods that will be indispensable to them whatever they end up doing. Well, we think anyway. Then they can select an option from a range of options, including labor economics, international trade, the history and philosophy of economic thought, mathematics for economists, all of them. Then the third year, they again have 4 papers. 2 are micro and macroeconomics, these are compulsory. 2 are options, so they can select them from another range of quite variform papers: public economics, political economics, economic theory and analysis. And then they have to do a dissertation on a topic of their choice. I think it's one of the more transformative experiences they will ever get to live while being here. In terms of the application process, in preparing the application pack, the students will be inclined to pay attention to its various components, including their personal statement, their reference, and of course everything that they can provide to illustrate that they are very capable and very interested in economics. And then the pre-interview assessment. Essentially, they have to show that they are adept at analytical reasoning. They will be asked questions on mathematics and logic. Then, a little while later, in December, we will conduct our interviews on site with the option to take an interview online. At that stage, we have a number of offers that we can make. We would envision around 8 offers on a regular year. In the interview, they come and meet the fellows that will later teach them, and then we engage in discussions that will reveal to what extent the student is ready to study in Cambridge and to what extent we can guide him through the process of studying in Cambridge. We'll discuss a little bit about current economic affairs, a little bit about their personal statement, and a little bit about some questions in analysis, mostly mathematics and logic. We also usually give them a text of economic significance to read shortly before the interview. It's approximately 30 minutes before, and then we ask questions based on the text, and this of course is just to ground the discussion a little bit, and of course then we branch out to whatever we collectively deem interesting. Performance in the interview is determined by a range of factors, and one of course is analytical competence, but another is openness. Just come there, show us who you are, we'll guide you through the conversation, and then at the end of it you can go home and be like, I gave it my best shot. That's what we want. When our graduates come, they are very ambitious. They want to answer the big questions, change the world. They want to solve poverty. They want to solve economic inequality. Now, what happens 3 years later? They all want to become investment bankers. I don't know, but it has happened. But investment banking is usually quite popular among the undergraduate population. Consultancies are also popular. I think that in general, in terms of work-life balance, it should be a little bit better. But one will observe that I already mentioned two extremely lucrative opportunities, at least financially speaking. Other opportunities involve working for the government in some capacity or some non-government institution. Our students have variously worked for the Department of International Trade, the Bank of England, as ODI fellows occasionally at the Overseas Development Institute. And of course, our students have also been occasionally, very occasionally, intrigued by the concept of research in academia, which always makes us feel warm inside, you know. Overall, there is a very large field of potential careers. This speaks to the breadth of the degree itself. It's quite a broad degree. It is widely applicable precisely because we investigate some very basic principles that tend to be relevant to a whole large area of disciplines, but that kind of endows our students with what I think is a serious competitive advantage in that regard.